Welcome to this week's live listen-along of Seeds by No Stone Theatre. Thank you for joining us on the fifth leg of our digital tour, hosted today by Derby Theatre. Stay tuned after the show to hear more about their work. We are online right now to listen along with you and answer any of your questions as we go. So please react and speak to us in the comments section. If you are following the series, please do subscribe, share it with your friends and family, and let us know who you are by following us on our social media channels at No Stone Theatre, where you will find more info on the show, reviews and interviews with the experts who helped us make the series. You can also join our mailing list at nostonetheatre.com. Sign up before the 25th of November to be in with a chance of winning an A3 print of the series artwork by Gemma Hattersley. We recommend using headphones for the best listener experience. Episode 5. This is the dog.
When I leave my small apartment in Nekrasova Street to go to work, I'm normally followed by a dog, which follows me all the way to St. Isaac's Square. It's a mixed breed. Ribs showing, like all the other dogs in the city, and a wound on its shoulder from a fight with another dog, or another animal, or even from its owner, who was trying to kill it to eat it. The dog follows me because once, a few weeks ago, I walked all the way from my home to the Institute with a sample of seeds in my pocket ready for cataloguing. But because I had a tear in the lining, the oats spilled onto the ground as I walked, and the dog licked them up along the route. And for that one day, it ate better than it had done since the start of the siege. And so from then on, the dog followed me every day, hoping the same thing would happen. And seeds or roots or anything would fall from my pockets. But they never did. And so today, the dog stays in the doorway and watches me take my walk alone, knowing that even if I hadn't repaired my pockets, it didn't have the strength to follow. And if the seeds which held the secret of a crop that could have fed millions were to spill at his feet, they were spared being lost in the belly of a dog that would die in less than an hour.
You had seeds at home. You had seeds at home, Dmitri?
In error.
You asked Leonid to turn out his pockets in front of everyone.
He didn't know, did he?
He shouldn't have to. That's not what we do here. Have you signed in?
No one is signing in.
I am. Zasha is. Leonid is. You should too.
It's 300 days into the siege. What's the point of signing in?
More important than ever.
What purpose does it serve? What purpose does it serve any of us?
If we miss the evacuation truck, no one will be...
You said the truck would be here by the end of the month, and that was 3 months ago.
If we miss the truck, no one will be able to say it was because we weren't at our stations.
If we miss the truck, the world will have bigger concerns than whether we signed a register.
I will today finish preparing the red wheat for evacuation. And I shall write a note about why it's important. And all the paperwork will be in order, including the register of who bagged up each sample and when they did it. That is our process. So I'll ask you again to sign in, please.
Fine. Better keep a close eye on this pencil, Irina. It'll be put on the fire if it gets much colder. Or eaten.
This is stomach acid breaking down food from 10 different countries and 4 different continents, and which was stolen from a vending machine in the Institute of Plant Industry. This is my body converting the food into glucose, which is releasing into my bloodstream. This is the sound of my breath, and the sound of the alarm of the machine, and the howl of a creature on the streets of the city. This is me hoping that the sugar from the West Indies and the cocoa butter from the Ivory Coast might give me the energy needed to run from a security guard or a beast on fire. I'm still holding the seeds from the pavement outside. This is where I remember that these seeds have been in my hand before. The feeling in my palm is the same, the smooth and the sharp, the colour and smell. I have held these seeds. I have held them here in this place. I can hear something. Is it scratching? What can be scratching? I can hear something moving about.
Some cats can survive on their own for months. And Mikhail is very brave. He faced down a dog 3 times his size because it was barking at me. He didn't think twice about his own safety. I thought he'd come into his own in the Institute. I thought he'd prefer it to mine. My apartment is very sparse now.
I'm still hearing scratching.
There you are. I told you. I told you he was here, even after all this time.
300 days.
Yes. Nearly a year. They're survivors, aren't they? Better than us.
Well, we're still here.
Irina, I saw a man boil up his leather belt in thawed-out snow. After an hour, it was soft enough to eat.
Irina, the women are feeding their children wallpaper paste from the buildings on Mayakovsky Street.
We do what we can do.
They're saying that if men and women are driven to that, it's unlikely that a cat...
Can you hear scratching or can't you?
Yes, it's coming from behind these shelves.
Well then, there we are. I shall give him a treat for this.
What treats have you got?
My rations.
Rations aren't treats.
I'll give him something.
What will you give him?
I'll find him something.
Nothing from the collection.
No, of course not.
I don't want you getting sentimental and then opening up the drawers.
How dare you?
I was just reminding you.
And can I remind you that you are subordinate to me?
I agree with Leonid.
I will not be spoken to.
We all have to watch ourselves.
I've signed up to this like everyone else. I was first to sign up, in fact. Vavilov himself hired me, so don't you dare...
It's rats.
What?
The scratching is rats.
The rats are still here.
It hasn't killed them.
Not it. His name is Mikhail.
Well then, Mikhail hasn't killed them. Mikhail is dead, in fact.
He's
dead. The scratching is the rats who are scratching at the body of Mikhail.
I thought he looked weak. I thought she shouldn't have pitted him against them.
One weak cat against a dozen rats.
I thought that.
You two make me sick.
I'm sorry?
Thick as thieves. You make me sick.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about your cat, Irina.
What shall we do with him? We can't leave a dead cat in the Institute. What shall I do with him?
Please wrap him in a blanket, and I shall deal with him when I'm feeling more The evacuation trucks are arriving soon,
Where
and I
am
need
I
to
supposed to get a blanket from?
There are blankets everywhere.
For us? Because it's freezing. Who's going to give up their blanket to wrap up a dead cat?
Enough! It is becoming clear that it's difficult for you to carry out the instructions that I give you. I have talked to you about this many times, and I am sincerely sorry for you, but you must see that you are being insubordinate to me. I say now that some kind of measures must be taken. We cannot go on this way.
What kind of measures?
I will ask the director about appropriate measures.
How can you ask?
I will send a telegram.
They aren't getting through.
How do you know that?
How could they?
Have you tried? Who are you sending telegrams to?
I haven't sent anything. But we're a year into a siege and nothing is getting through.
I will send one anyway.
Send it. Use that stubby pencil to write it and then post it. He can't reply.
He will reply to something as serious as this.
He can't because he's been arrested.
Arrested?
Vavilov has been...
When?
I don't know when.
How do you know at all?
It's been reported.
We should have been told. We should have been told as soon
Well, it
as
seems Dimitri's been told.
I haven't been told. I just take the trouble to read.
Where is it written that he's been arrested?
If your eyes weren't so weak, you'd see.
Dimitri!
If your ears weren't still ringing from the bombs, so I have to say everything twice.
Dimitri, please!
And your hands still shaking, so I have to pick up everything after you.
This isn't.
The same rations, but I do double the work.
I'll have you by the throat.
Get off me!
What do you know? What have you done?
If you...
Sneaking around, meeting people, never signing in. Who are you?
Get off me, I say!
Where are you getting this information?
The collection!
You're a traitor!
The seeds are all over the floor.
This is the sound of seeds falling on the floor. This is the bounce. This is the clatter. This is the terrible noise of them. The noise of 1,000 years. The noise of 1,000,000 harvests. The noise of 1,000,000,000 stomachs fed. This is the sound of footsteps stopping. This is the sound of footsteps approaching. This is the sound of doors opening. These are muscles tensing. This is skin sweating. This is the beam of the torch sweeping across the floorboards towards me.
There. Barley. And oats there. It's going through the floorboards.
Shine the light.
This has set us back. The truck should be coming any day, and this...
More light here.
A nation could be fed on this. A whole nation.
It hasn't come to that yet.
You don't speak. You don't get to speak.
It was an accident. I'm sorry.
You neither.
I have them. I have them. I have them. I have them. Violinist fingers. Useful after all. The seeds are safe. It's all right. If I were back home, I'd take this wheat, a pinch of salt, some mahobeli seeds, and I'd make mahobliani bread. Have you had it? It has a very distinctive taste. It's almost blue in colour. And because it stays fresh for longer, farm families would bake it, so they'd only need to make a loaf once a week. My own
He
family
confessed.
What?
Our director, after he was arrested, he was put in a chair and interrogated by Lysenko about his theories on domesticated plants, and on the spread of species, and on the potato, and on I don't know what. And he'll have been at him night and day, 11 hours at a time, until he confessed. A memo was passed under the Institute door. I found it this morning.
I'll read it. I admit that since 1930, I have been a member of a right-wing anti-Soviet organization existing in the People's Commissariat of Agriculture of the USSR.
Our director confessed to that.
It's here in black and white.
We can't believe it. Those reports are written by writers. Writers who would normally be writing novels and poems and plays, but have been employed to transcribe interrogation.
How do you know that?
Many artists have been used. We talked about it in the orchestra. If there is a report of the interrogation of Vavilov about our work here, then it will have been transcribed by a playwright as he saw fit.
Then how can anyone trust it to be true?
It won't be true. We know it isn't true.
But it's the truth of it now.
Yes.
And he'll be sentenced on it.
Yes.
He incriminated himself. Do you think
No.
he'll... 11 hours in a chair, day and night.
Not us. He won't incriminate us. We have to believe he won't.
You don't even know him.
I think I do.
Well, we'll see, I suppose. In the meantime, check again for seeds on the floor. And bury my cat.
This is the sound of footsteps receding. This is a torch dying. This is a door closing. This is a moment of stillness. This is my heart slowing. This is the sound of red wheat being picked up off the floor where I dropped it. One seed at a time, until I get all of them saved. This is the neon of the Hotel Astoria, blinking through a gap in the shutters of the Institute and reflecting off my shirt as I stand in the darkness. Red, like the fire. Flash, flash, flash. This is the neon that would flash over my screen in my office in the basement. This is a memory of looking through 1,000 items, 10,000 items of food lines for the hotel and trying to find macagliani bread. And it not being there. This is a memory of a walk to the kitchens, where I ask what's needed to make macagliani bread and am told that aside from a pinch of salt, I needed macabelli seeds and red wheat from Georgia. This is me looking for red wheat in our supply chain and not finding any. This is the manager of the hotel telling me I shouldn't be wasting my time sourcing one loaf of bread as the hotel has been experiencing a supply problem since the morning, and deliveries are delayed, and dinner prep is behind schedule, and room service is late, and the problem was critical, and I needed to get onto the phone to divert resources as a matter of urgency. And why wasn't I doing that, as it was my job, after all? This is where I say I won't be spoken to like this. This is an argument. This is where I'm accused of losing my mind. This is where he's telling me I'm being absurd, and what the hell has got into me? I can't remember that yet. I can't remember why I was like that. It hasn't come back to me yet. I can remember a door slamming and a busy street, and I can remember a supplier on Nevsky Prospect shaking his head. I remember a baker on Komendatsky Prospect shaking her head. I remember the owner of a Whole Foods store on Moskovsky Avenue saying that no one in the city had red wheat, so good luck getting it. And I look, and I look, and I look, and this is where I eventually find it, at the Institute of Plant Industry. This is why I know I have held these seeds in my hand before, because it was in here, in this room. Red wheat to make Macogliani bread. I don't know why I needed that bread so much. That is still a blur, but the fire is glowing red now, growing hotter. And I can feel the beast prowling, looking, sniffing, approaching now, knowing I'm near. I can see its shadow behind the buildings that were once giant yew trees and down streets that were once mountains. And its howl is the howl of how close I'm getting.
Seeds by No Stone Theatre, starring Nina Sasanya, Graham Rose, Jordan Kemp, Katie Stevens, and Kirsty Ryder. The text is by Nick Walker, music and sound design by John Owen, and the artwork by Gemma Hattersley. It was directed by Nicholas Pitt and produced by Johanna Taylor. This episode of Seeds is brought to you in association with Derby Theatre. Derby Theatre is the UK's leading professional producing and learning theatre, with a long and rich history of delivering high-quality drama to audiences. Through the theatre's unique partnership with the University of Derby, the theatre has transformed from a traditional producing house to an organisation of training, mentorship and artistic excellence. A producing house that combines its professional programme with an exciting suite of undergraduate and postgraduate courses, as well as an emerging talent programme aimed at developing the next generation of artists. Meanwhile, its community engagement programme reaches out across the region, including people of all ages and from all backgrounds. As a learning theatre, Derby provides a unique opportunity for students to learn their craft by working alongside both academics and theatre professionals. Derby Theatre provides an amazing platform for real-life learning to take place and for young people to be further supported by their artist development programme in good company. Check out all their brilliant work and opportunities at derbytheatre.co.uk. And please join us next week for episode 6 with Camden People's Theatre. If you are following the series, please do subscribe, share it with your friends and family, and let us know who you are by following us on our social media channels at No Stone Theatre, or joining our mailing list at nostonetheatre.com, where you can also find more info about us and how we made the series. And don't forget to sign up before the 25th of November to be in with a chance of winning an A3 print of our series artwork by Gemma Hattersley. Seeds is a No Stone Theatre production and was made possible with funding from Arts Council England.